President David Granger recently announced the re-establishment of the People's Militia. The People's Militia is the name given to irregular troops formed from the population. They fight on the front lines and alongside the regular army during conflicts and wars. The People's Progressive Party had scrapped the People's Militia when they got into office in 1992, saying that the militia was the People's National Congress Front. Speaking at his most recent edition of the Public Interest, President David Granger said that the aim is not to militarize society as is being peddled.
As you know, during the 1970s, there was a slogan, every citizen a soldier. We're not trying to militarize society, but it's a very useful organization. In the time of flood, for example, militia people could be turned out and mobilized, and they can help in flood relief. And of course, it is a cheap form of having a military force. So rather than increasing the strength of the regular force, you can keep the regular force small and increase the strength of the militia. So in an emergency, they could be mobilized and made to perform military duties for which they have been trained.
The head of state explained that persons including lawyers, doctors, and persons in private occupations have all been calling for the re-establishment of the militia. The commander-in-chief said it is something Guyana needs at this time.
It is attractive. People don't, they don't get full salaries. They just paid for the parades or the training that they attend. They give them a small stipend. And throughout the world, they have reserve forces, and I don't think that Guyanese are opposed to that. And once it gets going again.
Mr. Granger has been advocating for the re-establishment of the militia over the last 7 years. He said it is important because the Defense Act calls for Guyana to have a military reserve force.
There's a historical model because the militia was first established over 250 years ago by the Dutch. It declined in the 1990s when it was dissolved and converted into something called an infantry battalion reserve of the GDF. The Defense Act calls for a reserve force and a regular force.
The head of state said he is positive that a lot of Guyanese will join the militia. The People's Militia was established in 1976 and was scrapped in August of 1997. Roy and James, HGP Nightly News.